Storyboard, we speak to Kartik Iyer, CEO, Happy McGarryBowen, along with McGarryBowen's founder and global chairman, Gordon Bowen, about McGarryBowen Network's recent acquisition of Happy Creative Services in India. We get you the entire action from ground zero and tell you who walked away with big awards on the Effie's night. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. Dentsu Aegis Network recently acquired creative marketing agency Happy Creative Services in India. Happy joined the global McGarryBowen network of agencies and was renamed as Happy McGarryBowen. What was McGarryBowen looking for in an agency partner when they decided to go for Happy Creative Services as their partner in India, and how will Happy gain from this acquisition? We have Happy's co-founder and CEO Kartik Iyer together with McGarryBowen founder and global chairman Gordon Bowen answering this for us while in a conversation with Storyboard editor Anant Rangaswamy. Let's take a look.
Gordon and Kartik, thank you for talking to us. So, Gordon, tell us why you looked at Happy as a possible partner in India.
Well, you have to sort of start back as to why we went to India.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, you've got one of the largest populations in the world, over 1 billion people. But more important, I think that this emerging middle class is now the size of the United States in terms of 300 million people plus. So obviously it's important in the advertising community. And as an agency, we have many, many global brands that we represent.
Right.
So obviously if you're going to represent them globally, we needed to be in India. So I think the question for us was really not if we were going to be India, but where and who with. And so the first place we start as a company actually isn't with who someone's clients are or even what their creative reputation is, but actually with their reputation as individuals, because we're a founder-driven company. What I mean by that John McGarry and I started McGarryBowen as two individuals with a very strong point of view that clients deserved better, and we were looking for people around the world who had a similar philosophy and who had built something of their own with some success based not just on what we look for as an agency. And what most impressed me with this, among many that I looked at, is that we don't really look to win awards first. We think the ultimate award and reward is building a client's business. And so when I looked at all of the case studies which they presented to me, not knowing that that's what I was looking for,
right.
They began with what the results of each of their campaigns was, right, which I was very impressed by.
And so, Kartik, would McGarryBowen have been your dream partner, or why did you end up saying yes, you and Praveen come in?
Well, firstly, I think when we met, it was almost instinctive. The kind of work that they believe in, and the kind of work Praveen and myself have always believed in, there was like a direct match. And there were a couple of things that are part of their philosophy, which I don't think we've managed to articulate as well, but it just completely rang through. One of being the third option for the client, the specialist, who's on the outside but works closer on the inside. And the concept of co-conspiring with a client, because I think that just sets the tone of trust and integrity, which we find that in this industry and across the world is very, very hard to establish. And people, as much they say, they find it very difficult to work on that platform. But to start with that, the word go, saying that's how we're going to work with you, I think that sets the tone for everything. That just completely resonated with us, totally.
Right. Now tell me about some work that you've seen from McGarryBowen before you had this conversation with McGarryBowen that you liked.
I think the work they did for Verizon that we saw, it just cut through very emotional and a universal appeal. It touches. It had a positive perspective, and he said, "Yeah, we're off to a good start." Of course, it also helped that they had the Maserati account and other fun stuff.
Gordon, we're seeing advertising, the old advertising business, the Mad Men business, changing tremendously, and lots of pressure on margins, and you don't really hear too many stories of expansion globally and so on and so forth. So why do you think it's the right time to come to India? Because the confusion on how the agency revenue model will work is confounding everybody.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. First of all, in truth, we had nowhere to go but up because we had nothing in India. So therefore, our clients needed to be in this market. So if we were going to take our clients globally, nobody was saying we want to launch a brand in Europe and Asia and South America and leave out India. I mean, so if you were going to launch it, you had to have something. So that was critical. But I think more important than that was that we really wanted to, as much as we wanted to expand with our clients, we have a particular point of view about this notion about co-conspiracy and a sort of a partnership that we have with our clients. And we don't see ourselves as a supplier. We see ourselves as a true business partner. And because of that, it was very important that I find the right people who had that same point of view. So we didn't have to teach them our point of view. They already had it. Now you will say that we articulated it maybe a little differently, but it was already there, and I saw it in their work. Because there's three things that I saw in their work that I still think break through and do for us in the U.S. today. One, they're consummate storytellers. Number two, they look at people in all of their work at the consumer with respect. Some advertising is sort of distant and out there trying to be cool or hip or win awards. If you look at the real that they have done, they have great respect for the consumer in terms of looking at them with optimism and hope and belief, which I think is important everywhere, but certainly in this market. And they have a particular gift for marrying music which is the most emotional of all the art forms, with film. And I find it very powerful. And I mention that because this commercial that we did for Verizon that you talked about, and we talked about in the office, was driven by a soundtrack by Josh Groban, which was very powerful at the time. And so we are particularly strong advocate in the power of music and film together to tell a story and to make the client a hero. So that was a natural blend. Now, in terms of the market, in terms of
pressure on margins.
The pressure on margins it depends on the group and it depends on the client. I think that one of the things that we also do well is that as an agency, we're in a talent business. We're actually getting the most that you can out of your talent and creating what we call the big organizing idea that can hold all of the pieces together is what we specialize at. And if you can create that idea, meaning that holds all of the various disciplines together, then by and large, you have the opportunity to then work in all of those divisions. And that means that you control your idea, that the client gets the synergy they're looking for, and you're actually able to maximize the margins. Margins will never be what they were once in our business. We're realistic about that. As an owner of a business, at least previously founder of a business, advertising is a really fun business, and it's an exciting business to be in. And when you solve a problem for a client, it's really delicious. You just get excited about it. So we're able to make a good enough margin to be a healthy business. That's fine with me.
Kartik, tell me, now that it's become Happy McGarry-Bowen, how does it change your business, your philosophy, your dreams, your ambitions in India?
Well, actually, it only makes it better and stronger for in the easiest form. I mean, Praveen and me, we've been doing all this all by ourselves, right? Very indigenous in our approach, hybrid from everything that we've picked up. But every once in a while, you need to call someone to check if you're doing okay, or some guidance, or even to just bounce, right? When everything kind of just stops at our level. So I think the biggest solace we found was that we found someone who's exactly like us, been around more than us, a lot more experience, that we can trade ideas and discuss and fuel our confidence to go further, because as you know, our business is not every day on tops, right? We have as many downs, if not more. The second fact is the backbone or the muscle of being part of the Dentsu Aegis network, or as the Indian representative of McGarry-Bowen. So I think it brings a lot together. I mean, it's not such a singular question to answer. The way we're looking at it, it just puts us in a stronger and better position to realize everything that we wanted for Happy.
Right. Gordon, in India in the last few years, we've seen a lot of pressure on the advertising agency business to win awards. And it is putting pressure both on the quality of work as well as on the bottom line. So what is your view on awards?
Well, I have a strong view on awards, which is, of course, that awards it's really a question of motivation, and let me be really clear about that.
Right.
if your motivation is to win an award only, the kind of work that you will create is very different than the work that you might create to win the award or reward of building your client's business. Because many, many award-winning campaigns do not actually build the client's business, right? And in fact, I speak for the U.S., that there have been award-winning campaigns that actually toileted a client's business or took it down. Won many, many awards, but the results weren't like this. So I think that the pressure on awards is incorrect. I think the pressure should be on work that works. That should be the first order of business, and then it happens to win awards. That's terrific.
Brings me to the pressure. I've been spoken to John Hegarty repeatedly on scam. He's got a very strong view on scam, and good work often loses out because of work which is created just for the sake of winning awards. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I will tell you how I deal with it, which is every person that comes into our creative department and into our agency, we talk to about what our expectations are in terms of client, in terms of the partnership, and what our job is. And I will say flat out to the people when they start, if your only desire is to win an award to build your portfolio, then we're not the agency for you, because we want to prove that work, and I want to prove it. If you desire to build your business for your client, and you can show to me that among these three ideas, this one will do that, and also is the most creative, and also can win an award, I'm very happy. But you have to have both of them.
Sure. Finally, Gordon, I ask you, if 3-4 years from now, if you want to judge whether you made the right decision in partnering Happy, how would you know? How would you get the answer?
You know what? I already got the answer when I was there last week. And I felt walking in very shortly after this acquisition as if this was an agency that had been part of our family for many, many years. There was nothing I felt that I had to change, as much as what I wanted to do was maybe change myself or my emphasis or my priorities in making sure that I come, and not only me, but our staff and our clients to India.
Fantastic. Good to talk to you, Gordon. Good to talk to you, Kartik. And Gordon, see you back in India as soon as possible.
I really hope so. Maybe next week.
Yep, absolutely. Cheers.
Thank you.
It is time for us to take a short break. When we return, we get to see who won it big at FE's 2016.